What is going on, everybody? It is your boy Hendog, and the Arizona Diamondbacks just won an absolute thrilling series against the Milwaukee Brewers, in which really at one point it looked like the Diamondbacks were going to get shut out for at least 2 games at home after shutting out the Orioles in the last home game of their 3-game series when the Orioles visited Phoenix. It was so bleak at one point. And then like literally a game and a half until it completely flipped on its head and the whole series changed. Like in an instance, it changed. And for the team, hopefully it's good. I mean, it sucks that it took a switch like that to ultimately flip in their heads to kind of turn it around. But this offense is better. This pitching is better. But the thing is that the Milwaukee Brewers, and I kind of talked to this with one of the guys at the games against the Brewers, which I'll talk about here when we kind of go through the series games, is that the Milwaukee Brewers don't have a lot of like the bigger names, like they have Yelich and Churio, yeah. But, Terrain, Frelick, Contreras, thank you, that was better. These players are, don't come to mind all the time, but they're really good players. They're great players. So when you face Milwaukee, they're gonna be stingy. They're gonna be fast. There's gonna be contact hitting. They're gonna bring a little underrated power to the game. And the Diamondbacks experienced that. I mean, the first game of the series was an absolute blistering by the Milwaukee Brewers. They came to Phoenix, first game of the series, and they smacked around the Arizona Diamondbacks. The Arizona Diamondbacks had a day off. That stigma, the monkey on the Torey Lovello Diamondbacks back, the idea that if they have a day off, that they're iffy the first game of a series. Like if they literally play one game of a series, like they finish one series, then the next day they play another game to start a new series, they're good. But if they finish one series, have a day off or a period, and then play another series, they're iffy. They're cold, they're rusty. I don't know what it is, but it continued 7-0 at home. They got shut out. I mean, 4 hits. It was sad. I mean, Erod was pitching. He had actually not a bad game. He had 6 and 1/3 innings. He had 6 hits. I'm looking at my notes here. 6 hits, 2 earned runs, 3 runs total, 3 Ks and 2 walks. So it was a really good outing. And then Ryan Thompson comes in, he gives up nothing. And then Mantiply comes in, and oh my God, it was just terrible. 4 hits, 4 runs, 4 earned runs. He had 1 walk. It was just terrible. I mean, they were just teeing off on Mantiply. They got everything they wanted. Walks, extra bases, singles. They got everything they wanted off Mantiply, and it was sad. It was a 7-0 absolute blistering. There's not much we need to spend on that. But the next game, the game that I actually am going to, Game 2, coming off the back of that really disgusting shutout at home, fans were booing. They were obviously not. They booed Mantiply off the mound when he got substituted. So good, because that should be unacceptable. So it literally has shades of Jordan Montgomery when in Milwaukee last year, that one of the games that cost us a playoff spot. But second game of a series, Eugenio Suarez bobblehead night. Vibes are high. Energy is electric. It's just funny because when you show up early to the games, usually there's a long line for bobbleheads and giveaways and stuff like that. I don't know if Chase Field staff was just quick work or what, but my dad and I got there like maybe 5 minutes after the gates open, and there was no line, which was odd because usually there's line up to the light, right there off Jefferson to the cross right there with the street lights. It's insane, but no, we were able to get in. We got our bobbleheads, and we are hopefully going to enjoy a nice game, because Corbin Burns was on the mound facing his former team. First home game for Corbin Burns in Diamondbacks colors. So we were really anticipating. We're hoping to see a good version of Corbin Burns, and he can give us something to cheer about on Eugenio Suarez night. Maybe he can hit a homer like Shohei did. But, of course, the Milwaukee Brewers would strike first. Corbin Burns, I mean, he did an all right game, 6 innings, 4 hits, 3 earned runs, 3 Ks, 2 walks. But just the way that those walks and hits came were so untimely. They came really back-to-back. He walked. He gave up a hit. He walked, and then they drove in an RBI. Reese Hoskins drove in Contreras for an RBI. And then they drove in a RBI off a ground out, a fielder's choice. So 2 runs get on the board, and what do the Diamondbacks do? Absolutely, positively nothing. We're getting shut out again at home on Eugenio Suarez bobblehead night. He's not doing anything. The whole offense isn't doing anything. It was pathetic. Like, literally, I was sitting there, and I was begging, like absolutely begging for this offense to do something. And they got close a couple times, but they never had that like threatening, like the final hurdle to get over. And then Jackson Trio piles on. He takes Corbin Burns' absolute yard, left center field. It was a no-doubter. At that point, it was looking bleak 3-0 Brewers. It was scary. Like, nothing was going on. At one point, like we were getting to the 8th inning. That's when my dad and I left. I had to come home because I had to work in the early afternoon, and because I had my son home as well. So we left early. Even if it was somewhat close, we may have tried to stay a little longer. But like I said, my grandma or my mom was watching my son, so his grandma. So I don't know why I said my grandma. My mom was watching him, and I just felt bad to make it. So I was like, we should go. And the Brewers or the Diamondbacks aren't doing shit. They're obviously showing no sign at all of scoring. So we left. Contreras doubles. They make it 4-0, and we're like, yeah, it's completely over. And oh my God, was I ever so wrong? The Diamondbacks score 5 runs in the 9th inning to come back and win the game. Alec Thomas hits what he thinks is a homer, literally hits the front of the porch out in center field at Chase Field, falls down. He gets a triple. Moreno scores. Carroll gets a double. He continues his hit streak. Hampson and Thomas score. Jake McCarthy, who literally cannot get a hit to save his life, comes clutch, scores Carroll, moves Perdomo over, and then Gurriel Jr. hits a walk-off sac fly to end the game. Literally, it was incredible. I couldn't believe it. My dad couldn't even believe it. Like I said, they were showing the radio coverage at the end of the game. Some of the breadcrumbs were all there for the Diamondbacks to come, like, to score and win this game. No, they weren't. Like, literally, they were shut out for 8 innings, and prior to that, they only had like 3 or 4 hits prior to the 9th inning. They showed no sign at all of scoring that game. The breadcrumbs were not placed. Like, that's what I hate about sometimes some media and shit like that nowadays, is that they really try to they literally try to put whipped cream on shit and tell you it's chocolate fudge cake. Like, I don't give a damn that you're being paid. Like, that you're literally work for the team. Say it how it is. Like, literally, the breadcrumbs were not there. I was at the game. The team was being booed. Literally, Corbin Burns got booed. The offense couldn't do shit. The breadcrumbs were not there. The dude was supposedly at the game call on the radio, but obviously he wasn't because the breadcrumbs were not there. He talking about how Chase Field's alive and well. Bro, Chase Field was dead literally for 7 innings. Other than the beginning of the game where the vibes were high when it was Eugenio Suarez bobblehead night, literally the vibes were fucking dead because the offense couldn't do shit. And Corbin Burns was in his home debut. So, no, radio dude, shut up. It was not. But nonetheless, the Diamondbacks were able to come back and win this game, and which ended up turning the whole series on its head. Ryan Nelson had to come in. He gave up 1 run, 3 Ks though, and he had to come clean up the mess, and he was solid. I mean, he just comes in, he does work. I feel bad for him because he got pushed out of the lineup for being absolute stellar last year, and he's, when his number is called, he comes in and does work, and I credit Ryan Nelson a lot for what he does and like how he's taken it, because whenever they cut to the bullpen from the TV feed, Nelson's always somehow in that feed, and he's like chatting it up with the bullpen. He's messing around. He's having fun. Literally, when Montgomery got moved to the bullpen last year, he was such a bitch. He was such a poor sport. Like, literally, cold beers and cheeseburgers, and Chase Field has such a great view overlooking the bullpen. I couldn't tell you how many times Montgomery was sitting, like, they had like all these fold-out chairs, like these old metal full-ass chairs they all sit on, and they like to sit in little rows and stuff like that. Literally, Montgomery would sit like a couple feet back behind everyone else and lean back and just chill. His hat would be, like this, and he'd be just laid back and chilling, like he wouldn't be talking to anybody. Like the dude was so disengaged. Like, I feel like I don't wish injury upon anybody, but I'm glad that he's not really in this locker room right now, because there's some good vibes going on, some good positivity right now, and that second game really pushed and ultimately swung the momentum for the Diamondbacks to be the third and final game of the series, where we would see the Diamondbacks win 5-2 off Zach Gallen. Quality start, 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 earned runs, 5 Ks, 3 walks. Zach Gallen, the walks are high again. The inconsistencies there is showing a little bit. So hopefully he can kind of get that honed in a little bit, because we got the Cubs coming up. He faces the Cubs next. And we saw that what happened last time, opening day, where a little inconsistency from Zach Gallen went. So we need him to lock in. At least be Zach Gallen. You don't need to be spectacular. You don't need to be Superman. Just be Zach Gallen, and we should be okay. But the Diamondbacks were able to win 5-2. Of course, guess what? Starting pitching gives up another first-run home run. William Contreras hits a homer. Bryce just was a 2-run homer, scores Terrain. And then ultimately that was the only thing that the Brewers were able to do. Zach Gallen was able then to kind of he was able to get a couple of walks and make it look a little nervy. But he was able to get it done ultimately in the end. Tim Tawa scores on a wild pitch. Naylor RBI single. He's playing great baseball. Like, Slade Ciccone for Josh Naylor, trade of the century, dude. Like, absolute steal of a trade. Gotta love it. Alec Thomas, RBI single in the 8th. When 5-2, AJ Puck comes in and gets the save. That's exactly what we wanted to see. It's a really tough series against a really tough team. When we really play the Baltimore Orioles, who are a really good young team, we play a stingy Milwaukee team who's fast, contact-based, who has some sneaky power. They come in, they pop you in the mouth in the first game, and for 8 innings, they pop you in the mouth, and then you come back, very emotional, entertaining win in the bottom of the 9th, and you're able to flip that into another win, which is absolutely awesome. It was pivotal because, the light was about to turn off there, so I want to make sure that my camera light didn't turn off. It's pivotal because we play the Marlins next, and then after the Marlins, it's a really, really tough part of our schedule. We play a really stingy Tampa Bay Rays team who is playing a lot better than people thought they were, but they're always stingy. They're always a tough team to play against. And then we got the Braves at home, and we have the Mets, the Phillies, and the Dodgers coming up, bunched in all there after that. So it's going to be a really tough part of our schedule. So winning this series, snagging this series in an emotional, entertaining fashion was huge, turning into some confidence against the Marlins, and hopefully we can turn into a really positive month of April and May. So thank you all for tuning into this video. I really appreciate the support. If you haven't already, please hit the like and subscribe button, and also please go to the description of this video and hit the link on the TikTok, and please follow my TikTok channel. I drop daily content, pre-game, post-game series recaps, video game edits, or my stream highlights from when I play video games, Madden, PGA, NCAA, I'm trying to think, 2K, MLB The Show, the new one that came out. So there's a lot of stuff that I drop on there, so you do not want to miss it. But thank you all for the support. The draft is coming up, so stay tuned for a video on that. We got the Phoenix Suns fallout, what the Suns are going to do. I'm going to cover that. As being a Arizona native, the Suns are like woven into the fabric of this state, and it's literally woven into the hearts of many, Arizonans down here. So, what's next for that team, we'll cover it. And like I said, the draft's coming up, and the Diamondbacks season's in full swing. So thank you all for tuning in. I love you all to death. Thank you all for the support, and I'll see y'all soon.